What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Naval Azure show, and I'm your host Emmanuel Ifena. And today I'm going to discuss something different. Remember, I'm still Naval, right? Today I'm getting personal because today I'm going to talk about something I live every single day, and sometimes I know a lot of you are either living it right now or thinking about it, about starting. While we are talking about how to build a business, we are talking about how to build a business while you're in school. Before we proceed, I want to actually apologize. The last week podcast was quite noisy. I didn't like it. So I went back to recording the podcast at night, right when everybody's sleeping, so I can deliver the best for you guys. Now let's continue. Now we're talking about how to build a business while you're in school. Not the motivational version of the conversation, the real version. Now let's get to it. I want to start with something I wrote. I came up in my mind when I wanted to write this post. I normally try to come up with a quote that can, guide you girls. No one will give you a chance to achieve your dream. You have to give yourself that chance. Now, here's what it looks like in practice for me. I'm a 20 level student at the University of Abuja, and I also run Naval Azure, an affiliate marketing media brand on the side. And every day I wake up to the demand of both. Not the inspiration of both, oh, the demand. There's a difference between inspiration. There's a difference. Inspiration fades, demand doesn't. And the question I want to ask today is, how do you show up to that demand consistently without burning out, without letting either side collapse? Because I figured out something that took me longer than it should, right? And I have to learn it the hard way. And I think it's going to save you a lot of pain. When I first got into university, my parents had a clear and loving expectation from me, right? Study hard, get a professional degree, but most parents follow the rules that generation before me had followed and found stability. I understood it, I respected it, I didn't fight, but I wanted something different. I wanted to build, I wanted to create, I wanted to be doing something real world, right? Something in the real world before I ever walk across a graduation stage. So I made a decision that I knew was going to be demanding. I was going to do both, either ways, school and business, not after one after the other, but simultaneously, without apology. And for a while, I made some mistake. I've watched almost all my students entrepreneurs, my friends, they burn out, they say school is hard, this, that. I even tried. I tried to do everything, right? Maximum posting every day, perfect lecture attendance, night study section, full engagement with audience, affiliates campaign running, DMs answering, new strategy, learning, reading, all of that, all at once at full intensity. And the weight of it, the pressure of trying to be fully present in every area simultaneously, nearly broke not just me, but the whole thing in general. Then discovered something so simple, it almost embarrassed me and it changed everything. The principle is this: the act of doing two demanding things at the same time is not about doing more. It's about reducing everything to the single most important action in each area and protecting that action like your lives depend on it. Right? Just one action and protecting that action like your life depend on it. I called it the one thing rule. And here's how I apply it. For school, I made one non-negotiable commitment. If I attend every lecture, I pass. I'm that smart. Not perfect notes, so not colored code revision card, not three study session per day, not showing up to class just showing up to class consistently and engaging what is being taught. That's enough. I've tested it and it works. For business, I made one quality simple commitment. One post every single day. Not 10 posts, not chasing varieties, not a complex content strategy. Just one piece of genuine value delivered to my audience every single day without skipping. That's this entire system. Two commitments, one per area, both achievable even on the days when I'm running on minimal sleep and zero motivation. And here's why this work, why everything else failed. When everything feels equally urgent, the brain shuts down. It cannot prioritize under that kind of diffuse pressure. It procrastinates. It convinces you that rest will solve the problem. When what actually solves the problem is clarity. Clarity about the action that, if done consistently, make everything else either easier or unnecessary. One lecture attendance, one post created, one idea applied, one step taken. That's how momentum is built. Not through intensity, through consistency applied to the right thing. And I want to be honest about something most people leave out of this conversation. I'm not always energized to. When I do this thing, most days I'm tired. School drains normally in a way that you cannot fully anticipate until you are inside it. Life tests you in a way you cannot predict. But I show up anyway, not because I'm exceptionally disciplined, but because I've made the commitment small enough that even on the worst days, the barrier to doing it is almost zero. One lecture, one post, even exhausted, those two things are achievable. Now, here's the part of this conversation that I think will be immediately useful to you. Knowing you need to post once daily is one thing. Actually producing that post consistently at quality when you are tired and overwhelmed and have a test tomorrow is a completely different challenge. This is where clever AI studio has become one of the most valuable tools in my student entrepreneurial life. When I understood what my audience need and after today's episode on thinking fast and staying consistently, you now have that framework. AI Clever Studio helped me execute at understanding in minutes. I paste my URL, it creates my brand, my voice, my audience in 60 seconds. Then it produces my content, post, graphics, email, copy, creative, all under 10 seconds. For a student who has lectures, assignments, exams, and a business to run, that speed is not a luxury. It is what makes the one post day per day commitment sustainable. I'm not spending 2 hours crafting a single piece of content. I am spending minutes, and that quality is professional enough. That my audience cannot tell the difference between the day I had full energy and the day I was running on 3 hours of sleep, right? 300 plus 2, one time payment, no monthly fee. The link to this is in the show notes. Use the coupon code CSA off at the checkout for a discount. And if today gave you something today, subscribe to this episode with one student in your cycle. With subscribe to this episode, share this episode, subscribe to this show, share this episode with one student in your circle who is trying to do something while managing school. It might be exactly what they need to hear. Until next time, dream big, market smart. This is Naval Azure. I'll see you in the next one.